Phoebe Harborstone breathed her first salty lungful on a candle gray morning, 15 October 1999, inside a clapboard cottage balanced on driftwood stilts above the teal slick of Washington's Willapa Bay. Outside, a lone otter rolled kelp ribbons between nimble paws, while her mother, a road-roving soul salsa saxophonist who keeps pressed foxglove petals tucked in her reed rag, lifted a soft three-mote sigh that sent enamel teaspoons chiming on their hooks. Her father, a lighthouse battery wrangler famous for doodling cloud cranes on seafood invoices, leaned close until their freckles touched and vowed that dock gossip, hallway whispers, and clothing rails capping at 14 would always slide aside for anyone bold enough to fit her own spectacular outline. Curves have meandered through the Harborstone bloodline since a prohibition aunt rewove oyster net into speakeasy gowns, so nobody panicked when baby Phoebe punched through her second cotton swaddle before the kettle tried its very first whistle. Granny Liliana set a sailmaker needle to the tears, patched each gap with carnival kite triangles, and laughed that 5 cents of fabric was cheaper than spending a lifetime shrinking sunrise. Grade school corridors smelled of cedar curls, huckleberry crumble fog from the lunch hatch, and briny wind sneaking through warped louvers. Phoebe already stood half a head taller than her table mates, blotting the overhead beam whenever she traced gray wall pit stops on the pulled-down atlas. One drizzle recess, 2 classmates hop-skip circles chanting tow barge. Each thud her yellow boots made on chalk squares. At evening, she combed the rack line, pocketed soda caps frosted pearl by surf, threaded them onto fishing leader, stitched the jangly strand down her jade hoodie, and stepped into first bell gleaming a scatter of prism freckles across blistered ceiling tile. A volunteer reading aide filmed 8 shaky seconds on a prepaid phone, posted the shimmer to a newborn corner of the video web, and by lunchtime, 15,000 strangers cheered the girl who spun mockery into lighthouse flair. Phoebe inked a plum promise beside addition drills. Clouds crowd only until you flash them bright enough to part. Saturday dawns belonged to the cannery pier, where her mother's horn riffs mingled with diesel grumbles from crab boats, skillet pops from cod cake stands, and gulls haggling over fish heads. Off-the-rack jeans quit mid-thigh, so Phoebe bartered tip jar quarters for sun-bleached gill net, unraveled it into rope, crocheted a high-waist skirt, misted it with squiddy kelp silhouettes, then posed at tangerine sunset against rust-striped sun pylons, while her cousins snapped grainy frame. Each image slipped into an online diary titled Lantern Ripple. The very week, a shiny photo app fluttered across patchy coastal towers. Captions hopped from wharf slang to plain truths like curves anchor gusts steadier than seawalls. 2 months before 16 candles, 51,000 unseen hearts tapped tiny icons under every coral shot. Proof, glowing rectangles, hush cafeteria razors faster than any assistant coach whistle. A tidal energy scholarship flew her east to Oregon State's wave flume labs. Daylight dissolved in turbine basins. Nights belonged to a 24-hour churro wagon, glowing neon papaya beneath wind-tilted Sitka pines. The heat lamp doubled as ream light. Between cinnamon orders, she recorded 90-second reels, folding parchment into Marsh Rose barrettes while decoding dart rotation in half-lecture zip, half-shoreline hush. When upload mixed harbor seal chirps with lo-fi swing, while she chain-stitched reflective anchor braid into thrifted denim. 47 hours later, counters sprinted beyond 1.3 million. West Coast-style sites crowned her the churro couturiera, yet every sponsor pitch still froze at size 16. She filed each deck in a folder stamped shrinking nets, brushed sugar dust from her cuff, and served the next guest with a grin wide as equinox dawn. Storm readiness practice ushered in an email inked with Columbia Sportswear's compass. They asked her to co-design a spray shell capsule named Moon Current Pulse. Phoebe answered with 3 peer-hard terms. Patterns must reach 60-inch hips, half the shoot crew hired from community college fashion cohorts, 10% of net profit pledged to eelgrass revival from Grace Harbor to Gold Beach. Columbia signed before sunrise, tinted the beaker's coral, a shoe unfurled on a tide-peeled sandbar where sanderling chicks scribbled comments toward mirror water. She guided paddle borders of every outline across glass ripples while a drone painted lazy infinity ribbons overhead. When the lookbook surfaced, Every extended size jacket vanished in 41 hours across 33 nations, and Lantern Ripple blazed past 700,000 lantern icons. First Shoreline Whisper, friend. If the little subscribe badge above still glows fire red, quiet it to calm gray now. One light tap saves your rail spot so next week's story sails into your queue before the algorithm can shove it seaward. After clicking, drift to the description where a discreet doorway named the Love Compass waits to chart any honest soul toward magnetic, lasting romance. Spotlight shimmer called Rumor Gauze. A clickbait vlog claimed Phoebe wore steel plates wrapped round her waist under moon current shells. Dawn found her paddling a cedar board beyond eelgrass fronds, bare feet steady in linen shorts and sports bra, outlining every silver stretch stripe with crushed bougainvillea powder, while her mother's saxophone fired a sunrise growl so raw pelicans halted mid-glide. 10 million viewers reposted the proof, brushing fuchsia pollen across their own curves until gossip slid under slack water. Churro wages braided with capsule royalties and whipped into night brick velvet, a feather soft butter swirling spruce tip cream, kaffir lime oil, and mica sparks that glow seashell white in any flash. 19,000 tins cooled on her father's chartboard. Lids knotted with braided crabline, each tag stamped, "Moisturize your horizon." Stock drained in 82 minutes, raising $1,098,000. 20% seeded beacon grants, shipping industrial surgers and hydrophones to plus-size teens in shoreline schools from Sitka to Santa Cruz. 8 months later, 38 grant teams streamed a floating fashion and whale song gala aboard a retro hearse-liner lit with solar lanterns, first light collars spilling into classrooms from Kingston to Kyoto. Story of Harper Fashion Night meant a new jetty lore when a backstage blower shredded her sapphire mesh gown, hip to knee 80 heartbeats before runway. Phoebe tore a neon dock rope from a stage truss, laced the split like boot hooks, and walked the boards as if the splice had shown in every sketch. Shutters cracked like kettle corn. Vogue Cascadia christened the rescue rope Cadence. And another million lantern sparks lit before brass players tested a note. Thomas swung back when a spurned aid leak clipped emails whispering she demanded geoduck sliders and chauffeured skiffs for her rescue otter Lyric. She posted the chain and tire, refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, caption monitors for deaf stylists. That month's affiliate wave, $136,000, funded biodegradable crab trap pilots off Cape Flattery. Fans echoed her breakwater rule, receipts shine brighter than rumor grit, until whispers flatten like tide pool glass. Emily fixes her helm. Twice every moon she streams Porchline Groove. Mother shapes soulful runs beside a propane griddle. Father reads cloud haiku. Phoebe flips thrift denim while Lyric waddles sugar spirals. One session climbed past 9 million eyes when the otter sneezed glitter into the lens. A marine mammal refuge now sponsors every broadcast, tagging rehabilitated otters with solar beacons bankrolled by Nightbrook Velvet. Themed revenue, skim me on 12 million before Solstice 2. She leased a sleeping oyster shed, carved skylights through corrugated tin, hired furloughed deckhands plus design grads to whip custard and knot lids by hand during midday funk sets. Auditors push shrink bands. She repeated Granny Fern's axiom that fingers guard heritage longer than plastic clamps, and rope ties stayed. Her feed hosts Real Sky. Basalt Bluff portraits share scroll space with churro van selfies captioned "Same sky, different tide." She publishes breath loops recorded in wind caves, printable resilience sheets in English, and lush shoot seed. Therapy vouchers took 3 swipes down. 156,000 readers call her shoreline honesty their first calm harbor. Community glow rods glitter beneath crushed shell dust. Hundreds wield twilight levees wearing Nightbrook velvet on collarbones and love seagrass tassels spinning from spokes. Ticket money fattens beacon grants and lifts wheelchair snorkel rigs over crystal springs. Chowder shacks stew late. Rockfish bisque bowls climb 15% on ride nights. BB pedals led on a vintage cruiser with Lyric plush strapped for, pausing to lace any rider's drifting sneaker. She is threading last comments through currents keep names, slated for 11 language shells next spring, while a film crew captures her blueprint to weld retired buoy chains into floating maker studios for island schools. Puma's Y-to-Wave lantern sneaker lands next quarter, threaded with reflective rope, cushioned by algae foam, steering 10% of revenue into Beacon nurseries hugging the Pacific Rim. Second reminder, you're washing up now. If you tap like but left subscribe blazing, fix that with a single breath of courage. One gentle press summons next week's tide before algorithm undertow can twist the route, and the love compass link below waits whenever your heart is ready for clear navigation toward love. Winter slides toward slack water, fresh nightbrick tins, Beacon Grant doors, tonight's porch line playlist, and that trusted, confident Compass Lounge in the description, free and waiting. If the soda cap hoodie, shimmer, rope lace gown, rescue, or lyric glitter sneeze lifted even half a grin, press like, drop your brightest ripple in the comments, and share this voyage with a friend whose sails hang limp. Every curve reroutes currents, every scar refracts lighthouse beams, and the coast bows low to anyone brave enough to plant steady boots on the pier and greet tomorrow eyes bright. Final tide before lantern dim sailor. Subscribe right this heartbeat, secure your rail, open the love compass just below, and meet me on the next rising wave when a brand new story flickers beyond the breakers and courage calls your name once more.